What's up, peeps? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jen, and this is Copper Cactus DIY, where lately I've been on a cardboard furniture kick. Today's video is no exception, and it's actually part 2 in this series. So if you want to see how I built this cabinet from the ground up and you missed the first one, check out part 1. That should pop up on the screen right now. Plus, I will link it in the description and at the end of this video. Today I'm about to finish this cardboard cabinet, including adding some tapered legs and a sturdy base to hold them. You won't believe it's cardboard furniture, so stick around to the end and see it all coming together right meow. So that didn't work out. Unfortunately, the divider that was in here got super crooked, and then it was messing with the drawers and then the height and the thickness, and it wasn't happening. The drawers were not staying put together, and I really need them to be, solid and put together. So instead of keeping that divider, I just cut it out, which you just saw, and now I fully didn't film, but I did tape like I've done on all the other joints and then decoupage on top of that. Now I still have this drawer base to do the tape on. This is the stop. This is so tall now, sorry. That is the stop piece so that it doesn't hit the back. It's very crooked. Don't look at that. That's all smoke and mirrors at the end here, but I have all the thicknesses to do for the drawer face, and then I have the tape to do for that. I will decoupage the outside of everything and the inside of these two drawers. I taped off and everything, but I won't do anything in here. That's literally for like if things fall or tall skinny items or whatever. And on the back, I'm just gonna do a very quick tape job, but I doubt I'm going to decoupage back there. I used Pickling White Stain and Seal from FAUX to seal up the bottom of the drawer base. This all changes again, so this step ended up being not super critical. I wanted a raised panel look for the drawer, so I measured a slightly smaller piece of cardboard. I just did this by eye at about a 1/2 inch inset on all 4 sides. I marked the edges with a Sharpie so I'd know how to lay it out. Then I cut the piece with an X-Acto blade. I traced the final edge, then added hot glue, and attached the piece. Then I cut down cardboard for all 4 legs. I wanted a kinda tall cabinet here, and also I'm gonna set these legs into a base, so I made them slightly oversized to begin with. I taped the flat edge of each bundle, used glue between the layers, then taped up each leg on the angled side. I weighted each bundle down so that they'd dry and cure plumb and level and didn't cup at all. I got started on the base. Some of the on-hand cardboard that I had, it happened to be the perfect size to just slightly trim down and install as one solid layer, but other pieces kinda needed to be fitted together. I tried to cut those directly down the middle and use 2 halves. Right here, I'm just measuring the first layer. That way I'm going to have a template moving forward to measure out the other pieces. Using hot glue, I attached the 10 layers in the center of the bottom of this cabinet. Yeah, don't get too excited about that purple color I just showed everybody. This is the result of like maybe only 3 hair washings and only about 8 days later. Didn't last. We're gonna do something I'm gonna do something else probably in the next, I don't know, week or so and just kind of feel it out. But for now, I guess I'm just like rocking the Jamie Lee Curtis. So, woo! I get back to decoupage, starting with the drawer. Okay, so until I connect the legs, all decoupaging is done. Inside the drawers, outside the drawers. The only thing I can't get is in this tiny little skinny spot. Like I can barely get a hand in there. It's pretty small, so no biggie, that'll get painted. Also didn't do the underside of the cabinet because I need to cut in the legs first. And as you can see, those are also done. Hooray! So, yep, just gonna let this all dry overnight. I measured, traced, cut, and peeled out all of the cardboard areas to inset the legs. The X-Acto blade is around an inch long, which turned out to be a perfect size, so I used it as my depth gauge. I used needle nose pliers to help me pull out any of the stubborn or deep layers of cardboard. Everything dry fit really nicely, so I did the same on all of the other 3 legs. Then it was time to install. I added a generous glob of wood glue to the inset hole. Spread that glue thick around all the surfaces using a disposable chip brush. Then added hot glue to the bottom of the leg and pressed it into the base. I adjusted it so that it set firmly and evenly as well as level and plumb, and I added a boatload of hot glue into the gap and around the leg at the base. Yeah, just so you can see, I also leveled this thing from front to back because it was crooked. Now, here's the rub, because the bottom right here is actually the top. So I am flat on the ground here. As you can see, this side is way higher because it's way off level on the top, which this is the top of the cabinet. So getting this leg level is definitely good. Don't get me wrong, you know, front to back and side to side, it needs to look right and whatever, but I won't be able to do the leveling of all 4 legs based off of this leg. Things get a little interesting now. I'm going to need to base it off of, I'm going to have to prop up the cabinet probably on some like painter points or something, because then it's just the teeny tiniest little surface area that's counting as the surface, if you will. Really, it'll be the bottom of those paint points that sits on the floor that will be making things level. This floor is level. I know that. I've checked whatever. So long way of saying, I'm going to put this up on paint points so that this fully levels out. And then since this leg is now level, I can then use that as my first point so that then once the cabinet has been leveled out on the ground, the leg is now leveled out, and then all the other 3 legs can level out based on this first leg. To make sure the legs lined up evenly and stayed level and plumb, I clamped them to a flat 24-inch level laid across the flat and level part of the underside of the base. With the first leg firmly glued in place and plumb and level, I attached that level, the long level, to that leg with a clamp. I lined that up with the second leg, and then I left the level in place while I added various glues to complete all the same steps that I did on leg 1 here on leg 2. With the glue ready, I pressed the leg into place. Then I clamped that leg true to the first. I also made sure to check for level and plumb on this leg, and once everything was lined up, I left it to dry and cure for about an hour. So here's the current situation with my work life. Super fun. I plugged in the hot glue gun. I got all my little caps ready to go with shims and all the things so that these legs can be flat and level on the floor. And sorry about that. I went to turn on the camera and it said battery exhausted. I said same batteries, same. But then I went and checked my other 4 batteries, and here's our situation right now. 5 dead batteries. So I'm down to the cell phone, which is fine. It just means that I can't do anything really high speed, and I don't want to record this entire thing. So instead, I'm just going to bring you back in when it's done. I think you understand what I'm going to do. I've got these pieces that I took out from down here. They are going to cap off the end of the leg at the foot, and then little shims will go in there just to fill in any gaps that the hot glue doesn't fill in. I'm going to do that for all 4, and then I'll just bring you back in when it's all done. Once they're on and set, though, I will take my little scissors there and come in and cut off, because then I'm going to do decoupage. By the time I get to the decoupage here, my batteries will probably be fine, but I'm not going to record that, film that. Sorry, I'm ancient. Or as I say, this is middle age. Anyway, I'm not going to film any of that because you've seen me do decoupage 1,000 times. This is the last of the decoupage. I'm going to be doing the entire base underside over any and all hot glue, filling in hot glue on the back side of these 2 legs, capping, decoupaging, and then this cabinet is getting flipped back over, and I'm going to put the final color on it, which is not this white color. I've changed my mind. As promised, foot cap and decoupage are done. Done and dry and ready for actual base paint. I ended up mixing up a new custom color. This time it's more of a woody yellow, as I'm planning a distressed walnut for the final finish here. I applied using a chip brush, starting with the underside, and you can see that my purple hair color is already fading here. Using American Walnut Stain and Seal from FAUX, I am going to put an actual faux wood grain on the legs because they don't have any wood graining. I didn't do plaster on the legs. We're going to see if that was a misstep or if I'm cool with that as I go, and then I'm going to just go for it and do the whole rest of the cabinet. And you've seen me do faux before, and if you haven't, then check out my faux finishing playlist. I'm going to probably link that at the end of this video. That way you can just get a sense for how I do my faux wood graining, and especially on something like a cardboard cabinet, why I would do the wood graining with the joint compound first as opposed to doing the wood graining just like I'm doing on the legs with the brush and technique and whatnot. So anyway, just sit back, relax, enjoy the last couple of seconds of this, and I'm gonna stop rambling now. After a couple days, I used the same home decor wax from FAUX Art that I used on the inside of the shelf earlier, and I added a top coat. I actually applied this everywhere other than the last couple of inches of the cabinet that are now down towards the floor. In this orientation, that's because I'm working from the underside and the top is currently toward the floor. I knew that once I got to the top, I would likely go over the edge, and I just didn't want to have to deal with removing wax before I fixed up any of that. So I went shy of the floor and finished off the sides, front, edges, legs, underside, and back. Moment of truth. Crossing my fingers so hard. Baby, yeah, not bad. Literally not bad. Diagonally though, it's on. Then I had to contend with the top. Not only would I have to paint, stain, and top coat, I also had to repair and regrain the entire thing. That's because in the four corners where I had the cabinet resting on those painter points, there were pretty decent divots to fill with the joint compound. This thing must weigh like 50 pounds. It's pretty dense, so that didn't surprise me at all. But they took a little while to actually get done correctly. Once I filled those in, it actually meant that I had to do a smoothing coat over the whole surface in order to get that smoothed out correctly. But that was kind of cool because it allowed me a chance to further level the top a bit and I could just use this plaster for thickness. I pulled again to get some wood graining with my chip brush, and I let it dry, and I completed all the finishing steps for this off camera since you've already seen me do it in the other parts. Putting on that new base color meant things flicked into the shelf as well, so I also had to go over that again. I cleaned that up with using another coat of the blue chalk paint, but first I had to break the surface of the wax. I did that with just a scrubbing cleaning pad, which did the trick because this wasn't fully cured, and so it took most of it away without much struggle. After wiping things down with a rag, I came in using an angled putty and I applied the final coat of blue. The next day, I added a final wax top coat to everything, and this cabinet was done. Don't forget to subscribe for free for more fun furniture content, including more sustainable cardboard furniture made with my on-hand items. Stick around for the beauty shots, plus links to more videos and my cardboard furniture playlist if you're interested. But that's all I've got for you today, so thanks for being here and watching. Later, peeps! It's an okay style, even if it's going to be a color that is the exact color I've been trying to hide pretty much since my late 30s. Take that. Let's re-record all of this. Let's re-record because I'm apparently an 80-year-old man, which now is what my hair looks like. No.